thought I was going to fight Ilya in January.
I know there was a little bit of criticism about Paddy Pimblett getting this fight.
I mean, I felt just as much hate for me as I did for him. If you're an Armen fan, you obviously, feel slighted, and I understand that, but this is such a crazy game, and timing is everything. I beat Dustin Poirier, and then he ended up fighting for a belt. If you sign up for this game, you have to understand that there's so many variables that you do not control, and ultimately you just have to be ready for each one of these nights when they show up.
Gets fans doing double takes when he plainly stated that he could end up tapping Paddy Pimblett at UFC 324.
Crazy game, you just never know. Maybe I'll sub him.
I mean, anything's
It's
possible.
gotta be 1,000,000 to 1 odds.
His boldness doesn't emerge from nothing. Having been known for years as someone who grins walking into fire, he began investing deeply in refining his ground game after experiencing losses. Against two of the sport's most fearsome grappler, his bout with Charles Oliveira stood out not because he was out-grappled immediately, but since he got dazed standing before the submission took place. Facing Khabib Nurmagomedov, that was entirely its own puzzle. A challenge so distinct, he still discusses it like attempting to decipher an unsolvable enigma. Following those defeats, he's privately immersed himself in jiu-jitsu and wrestling practice with a commitment he'd never displayed previously. Even if he still intends to fight by his own terms, he isn't stepping into UFC 324 scared of grappling exchanges. Indeed, he invites them if they arise, certain that no one will take him down cleanly unless they stop.
He's a really good grappler, but since the Charles Oliveira fight, I really trained a lot of jiu-jitsu, a lot of grappling. And I've actually been enjoying it a lot more than I ever have. And so, I'm not looking to grapple, but I have no issue, with the grappling department. And my ability to keep people from taking me down is second to none. So he's going to have to, compromise me with his punches and kicks and knees. And then, if that happens, then he'll have a better chance.
Pimblett, at the same time, remains the prime focal point of attention he has consistently been, regardless of the outcome. He enters this temporary lightweight championship match without a UFC loss. Yet, his winning run hasn't persuaded all. Defeating rivals who were either in poor shape or descending the standings has caused certain fans to be skeptical. And still, Pimblett is convinced this is precisely where he belongs. Instead of subscribing to the idea that he needs to lean on grappling or be careful facing someone like Gaethje, he spots a chance for a dramatic and explosive victory. He's certain this bout concludes inside 3 rounds with his arm lifted following a stoppage no one ever expected. He aims to advance directly at Gaethje, apply early pressure, and turn the tables on what others...
I'm going to be shocked, to be honest, because I think I'm going to knock him out. So people won't expect that. People think I'm just going to try and grapple and take him down, when I'm not. I'm going to come out and I'm going to put it on.
Expecting an early knockout, a late knockout, somewhere in the middle.
I don't see him getting past the third, just like Chandler.
Past rivals and seasoned commentators have infused further dimensions into the drama. Tony Ferguson, one of the few men who has shared the ring with both, didn't necessarily view Pimblett as the better fighter, but he saw a problem Gaethje might face: emotional burden. Gaethje has already gone through the heartache of losing 2 title opportunities, and joining another interim title match feels like exposing old injuries. Pimblett, conversely, approaches this stage with new vigor, no emotional weight, and the sense of entering something completely novel. Ferguson didn't believe either fighter was invincible, but he perceived that one carried a history that might hold him back slightly while the other arrived with excitement instead of pressure.
Bad, dude. Paddy's not bad. He's very beatable, and Gaethje's very beatable as well. But when it goes into the passion and how upsetting Justin Gaethje has always been about not getting that real title shot, and they just keep dangling it right there again, Paddy's in for a new treat, right? Paddy's the one that's never fought for a belt. He's going in there. He's going to be trying to get that stuff. He's going to feel a little bit more fresher. He's going to have that little bit of excitedness, in my opinion.
Thomas assessed the contest from a much more focused tactical angle. He felt Pimblett had lucked into what could be his single genuine opportunity to reach success in the UFC. The weight class teams with fierce competitors, notably emerging talents such as Armen, Tsarukyan, and Ilia Topuria, and Thomas foresaw Pimblett struggling against those top contenders. Gaethje, though still a formidable force, is further along in his career, more readable in style and considerably less dynamic than newer opponents. This positions him as a significantly more suitable opponent for Pimblett. Nevertheless, Thomas couldn't escape the sense that Pimblett faced a monumental challenge. He doubted Pimblett possessed the skill to keep Gaethje grounded for extended periods, nor could he envision him enduring sustained pressure and anarchy through 5 rounds. In Thomas's estimation, the bout tilted
Justin Gaethje fighting for the interim title. Whoever wins that fight will move on to fight Ilya. And I don't think that there will be a title defense for the interim title. If I was to guess, if I was to bet, there will be no title defense of the interim title. I think that the next fight for whoever wins between Paddy and Justin, I think their next fight will be Ilya Topuria. So I do not think they will defend the interim title. So good movement and clarity at 155 pounds. I feel for Armen Tsarukyan, but this fight's going to be incredible.
He who handed Gaethje his first UFC loss took another angle. For him, this had absolutely nothing to do with skill, yet everything with preparation. Pimblett, he considered, required a totally new training setup if he hoped to handle what Gaethje brings. Gaethje's intensity is hard to mimic or to simulate. Alvarez had felt it firsthand, the chaos, constant collision, the non-stop pressure, and he believed Pimblett needed to adjust to that for fight night. Should Pimblett train as he usually does, surrounded by familiar partners who didn't push to Gaethje's level, then the second he felt that intensity in the cave, he would already be too late. Alvarez never doubted Pimblett's heart to fight hard, yet trying to adjust to Gaethje's style on the fly is the error that gets fighters finished quickly.
Years ago, what's like the first thing that comes to mind when you think of that fight with Justin?
That I'm glad it's over and I never want to do it again. I'm like, the fans don't ever ask for a rematch or anything like that, because that would have never. I'm like, I'm glad. He's unique, man, and he's one of my favorite guys to watch. So like, but if you want to beat Justin Gaethje, you have to. So he's a forward fighter and a pressure fighter that he will stand in the pocket, and he's gonna throw everything he got in that pocket. If you don't meet him, you'll get chewed up. So Paddy, the way to beat a guy who like does this very violent, aggressive pressure fighter, you have to meet him. You have to throw when he throws. So you got to be brave, and you have to go when he goes in between his shots. If you do that, you got a fair shot. If you don't do that, if you're not brave and courageous and throw when he throws in between his shots, it's going to be a really long night. It's going to be a hard night.
Matt Brown interjected with a wider discontent regarding what UFC 324 signifies. To him, Pimblett's rapid ascent to an interim title shot seemed less like merit for defeating top contenders and more like a marketing gamble for a decline. And to him, this form of pairing suggests a trend where fame overshadows deserved performance. Tsarukyan, he contended, had executed flawlessly, defeated tougher opponents, and demonstrated his skill at the top tier. And yet, he was put aside, allowing a contender who sells extra tickets and gains more attention to skip the queue. Brown's voice grew somewhat cynical as he quipped that championship chances might just be given based on online standing. However, underlying his jest was a genuine worry regarding the sport's future trajectory.
They're just basically saying Paddy's more popular, you're getting it over Armen.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, right? And that's, I mean, God, I hate like kind of get into this too much, but I mean, that's really like, that's the definition of, you know, a monopoly where a single promoter owns the title and the rankings. And it's not a good thing for the sport, in my opinion. And I have to question what it's going to do for the longevity of the sport. You know, I don't think in the short term it's really going to make a big difference, right? Like, you know, it's going to sell the next fight, right? It's going to sell the next pay-per-view. But trends tend to come and go, right? Fads tend to come and go. At some point, like, you know, to have staying power and lasting power, I think it requires, you know, a meritocracy-based system. It's going to require, you know, some, you know, if you want to bring in guys like Armen Tsarukyan or Movsar Evloev, I always mess up how I say his name. You know, you want to bring in these Olympic wrestling level guys. I mean, they don't want to have to go out there and put on some ridiculous show to become a champion. They don't want to have to go on Instagram and start a podcast and make you know, whatever kind of skits on social media and this silly kind of stuff. Like, they just want to be a world champion because they want to be the best athlete. And that's what makes me wonder how the staying power is going to be, right? When you're dealing with guys that are, legitimate athletes that want to be legitimate athletes, and they're getting passed up by guys that are entertaining.
Islam Makhachev shared that view, perplexed by the UFC's rationale for overlooking Tsarukyan. From his viewpoint, Tsarukyan had accomplished enough to be at the front of the queue. He observed Tsarukyan fight through injury, make weight as an alternate, and overwhelm Dan Hooker to show his merit. But inexplicably, the interim belt went to two fighters ranked multiple places beneath him. Makhachev couldn't grasp why the most deserving contender now faced a lengthy wait while Pimblett and Gaethje competed for his rightful position. Islam said, "The promotion might not enjoy this. They arrange an increasing number of fights I fail to comprehend. Naturally, I believe Armen should have received the title opportunity. To be frank, Armen will not be fighting again anytime soon. It's Pimblett against Gaethje. Whoever triumphs, he earns a shot at Topuria, indicating another year of inactivity for Armen. It's difficult." Dana White, conversely, remained resolute on how he saw the circumstances. He wasn't concerned with rankings, figures, or public opinion. In his judgment, Tsarukyan had blown his opportunity, and now he had to earn another. For the UFC,
I wouldn't say that he's the odd man out. He had an opportunity, and you guys know how that played out, and he's gonna have to work his way back. I don't give a shit what the number says. He's gonna have to work his way back. There's just too much goes into this for those type of things to happen. We had a little. We were talking back in my room tonight, and we were talking about all the crazy shit that's happened over the last 20-something years. But you can't do that. You can't get the opportunity, and then it can't end that way. So he's got to work his way back.
So the message is take the next fight you offer him, obviously.
No, I mean, he obviously he knows what's going on. I don't give a shit what everybody else says. He knows what's going on, and he's got to work his way back to that title shot.
Armen Tsarukyan himself attempted to inject his presence into the UFC 324 narrative uniquely. He even volunteered to assist Gaethje prepare for Pimblett, not from a desire for Gaethje's triumph, but from deep animosity for Pimblett and a willingness to help him be defeated. Gaethje recognized the offer for what it truly was, an attack on Pimblett, not an overture in his direction. He valued the consideration yet refused. He wouldn't risk bringing a future foe into his training camp, nor did he feel any need to disrupt his regimen with drastic changes. Gaethje had faith in his team, trusted his readiness, and found no sound reason to involve someone he could face down the line.
Last few days been like in your mind?
I mean, it's hard, it's hard because it's your goal. Why like guy like a Paddy, he beat just one ranked number 12, and they made the fake ranking and put him on the 5, and it's a business, it's not just a sport. They can do whatever they want to do, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna be a champion. It's just time, the difference of the time. It's hard because I deserve to fight for the time.
The stakes for Gaethje extend past this one contest. Should he win, the UFC anticipates him unifying the title with Ilia Topuria, though Topuria has publicly mentioned moving to welterweight, which might change it all. Gaethje did not appear worried by that prospect scenario. If Topuria relinquishes the title, Gaethje would become champion automatically, and that clears the path for a rematch with Max Holloway or Charles Oliveira on a grand stage, potentially even the much-discussed White House event. He has envisioned that situation since defeating Rafael Fiziev, seeing himself holding both the lightweight title and the BMF strap before the year concludes.
So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind him adding something to the story so people want to watch. Either way, people are going to watch. I'm the most consistent, most exciting guy, and this guy is on a freaking tear right now. So when that cage door locks, we're going to try to beat the shit out of each other, and I can guarantee every person in the arena will turn into an animal, and that's my goal every time.
This refocuses attention on the contest itself, an encounter brimming with opposing energies, drive, and intensity. Gaethje views himself as the one who orchestrates calculated impacts, moving into exchanges aiming to strike harder and connect first. He acknowledges the force Pimblett delivers, but trusts his unique timing, angles, and intensity will forge the chances he needs. Pimblett, conversely, seems prepared to stun the globe, certain he can dismantle Gaethje before the bout reaches the championship round. Amidst emotional narrative, strategic concepts, issues of worth, and the broader discussion regarding how the UFC makes choices, Gaethje against Pimblett has become one of the most intricate, complex contests of the